Recently, on a gorgeous, clear day, Ken and I decided to head to Malibu's Point Dume to see if we could spot whales. We climbed to the top of the bluff above Pirates Cove, thinking we might see whales from above. Then we noticed something strange on the beach below, and I was afraid it was a dead seal. I watched it, but then I thought I saw it move. I immediately called California Wildlife Rescue. They told me to take a picture of him, so we scrambled down the bluff rocks as fast as we could because I told Ken I think he's still alive. But when we got to the shore, he wasn't moving at all, and once again, I thought he had died. We sat near him and waited for wildlife rescue. But then he began to move again. He was struggling and weak, but he was still alive. I hoped that rescuers would arrive soon because the tide was coming and I was afraid that he would be pulled back to sea and not strong enough to survive. I watched around him to make sure that beachgoers didn't disturb him. Waiting 30 minutes for animal rescue was horrible. But then California Wildlife Rescue crew arrived. Yay, California Wildlife Rescue! 4 of them pulled out their net and wrapped him in it, which wasn't so easy, not because he was resisting, poor thing was too exhausted for that, but because their net wasn't exactly big enough. Finally, they carried him over the rocks of the bluff. It took all 4 of them to take him back to their van and then their facilities. What an incredible and tricky job. Mike of California Wildlife Rescue informed me that this was a baby elephant seal, and he had recently separated from his mother and wasn't doing well on his own. That's why he was skinny and too weak. Mike said that about 30 baby seals wash up every year because they've left their mother and don't really have the skills they need to fish and fend for themselves. And just a certain number of them don't do well. Many babies leave their mothers and do fine right at the right time, but there's always a portion of them that just don't have the skills quite yet and end up being too weak to fend for themselves. He said the baby was thin, but that they would feed him and strengthen him over 2 months and then ultimately re-release him. Thank you, California Wildlife Rescue! This baby elephant seal is now on fluids and sleeping in their hospital and doing just great. So if you ever see a hurt animal or an animal in distress, please call your local wildlife rescue agency.